seconds left. This is probably the most important pick, or actually ban
of their lives.
not of their life, but of this pick and ban stage, because everything else was pretty straightforward. They're going to decide to deny Fata the Beast.
So they do ban a Fata hero, which would be in line with the Magnus going to Bone 7.
Yes.
5th ban now for Cloud9, and this comes down to the question of if they think there's any chance of a Jungle Axe. But they expect it to be a core, so they're going to ban that Ancient Apparition. Let's see what Secret's next pick is.
You know what's crazy is Puppy could play Lycan.
Yeah,
he's done that.
It's been ages, but you're right, Shannon. He did used to play the jungle Lycan once in a while. Now, he was much better at jungling from level 1 back then. He needs his levels a bit more now before he goes into the woods.
Yep.
More likely, if they run something as a 4-position jungler, it would be the Axe.
How do you feel about... I mean, you need AoE stun here. Did Secret play Lina this tournament?
They ran the support Lina for Kuroki.
Yes.
It worked really well. It was with an S4 Nyx safe lane. So they're running a dual lane Nyx Lina.
It could be a Rubik even.
I'm looking at something that has deep push, because Lina and Leshrac come to mind. Leshrac, a little bit more of a fringe pick these days. They banned the AA. They're going to get the Silencer, which cancels the Bane ultimate. That's good.
Well, it's good against Relocate in general. But you need levels on this hero. That's the... I'm not a big fan of this hero as support, but...
It's also good against the grip. If, like, let's say your Lycan gets gripped in a bad position, you just global... he gets to get out of jail.
That seems to be the main situation. Because even with the Relocate, like, if you see the Relocate and you silence, okay, Tiny will not be able to use your combo on you, but they can still hit you, and...
They can still punch you with their big stony hands.
Tether you.
He actually doesn't impale anyone with that horn on his head.
No.
I feel like he could as a last resort.
Oh, Shadow Fiend.
Okay.
To the end.
It'd be Bone 7 on the Magnus as suggested. And let's see. I imagine the Silencer is a support.
Yes. The lanes are going to be interesting for C9.
I think we'll see just Shadow Fiend mid, probably dual lane Tiny with safe lane and Bane mag off. Maybe the Bane roaming a bit.
Yeah. It puts their lanes very static for Cloud9, and maybe that Team Secret can take advantage of as well. Whether they will want to try lane the safe lane, or just try to be a little bit more greedy and put a Silencer and Axe is actually a combination of dots that are very, very annoying.
It's really hard for whoever goes off lane against these two, especially because they'll have howl damage as well.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't notice.
Okay. No one knows. That oh so valuable double bounty rune still sitting there waiting. Well, we have a couple seconds here. No action breaking out just yet. Just a bit of enfeeble harassing the mid lane. We'll introduce our two teams. On the dire side, it's going to be Team Secret. S4 going to be on the mid puck. In the off lane, it's going to be Zai playing the off lane Axe. And the safe lane trial lane, Puppy on the Vengeful Spirit. We've got Kuroki playing the Silencer. And finally, Arteezy on the Lycan. For the Radiant side, it's Team Cloud9. Bone 7 on the off lane Magnus. In the mid lane, Misery going to be doing some harass on the Bane. Supporting Fata on the Shadow Fiend. And in the safe lane, it is going to be the Eternal Envy Tiny, supported by the Big Daddy Notail Wisp.
Well, looking at the lane progression right now, Axe has a decent amount of last hits from the first wave, 3-0, and you compare that to the Magnus. Magnus has nothing so far from the offlane.
It's where Cloud9 are looking to make up for it elsewhere. They've had the Bane mid lane. Fata is doing fantastic against the park. Look at S4. How often do you see this guy 0-0 for last hits? A minute and a half, 2 minutes into the game. That's with house support as well. Misery has done his job with this level 1 Enfeeble. He is still level 1. He has to transition from here, but as far as the start goes for the mid lane, it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is something that you see teams do very often when they have Shadow Fiend on their team. They want to give him the edge by one support committing the first few minutes to just make sure that the Shadow Fiend gets his soul, and he's just going to proceed to dominate the lane after that. You see this on a support like Skyraf, and obviously Bane will be able to be more annoying with the Enfeeble.
Yeah. Once SF gets those souls, it becomes so difficult for Puck to last hit. All he can really do is maybe look to use his nukes to last hit. He just doesn't have the damage that matches up to the Shadow Fiend. So early on, a lot of harass down bottom lane. Zai able to put out a lot of damage with an Invis rune. Could be looking to make something happen. But there is full bottle charges onto Notail's Wisp, and he's looking to use Envy perhaps as bait here. As the Radiant team did scout this one, Envy just seeing in the middle of a big creep wave, and it seems like he's kind of wary of the Invis rune and hoping that Zai perhaps goes on him.
Yeah, they did indeed see him pick up the Invis rune, so he probably wants to just play a bit safe, but at the same time, like you mentioned, full bottle charges on the Wisp.
Yeah.
Not much of a big deal. Axe is still going to get a lot more from the offlane than the Magnus here.
Hey, already level 4.5 here. This is a fantastic lane for Zai, just having a duel, and he's trying to come in from behind, but doesn't get off a battle hunger or call or anything to disrupt Notail there. As Notail has dewarded the pool camp with sentries, but still is yet to respawn, so just some casual body blocks going in from the Axe, I imagine, to prevent that from happening. And
yeah, and Zai just placed his Observer after he noticed that the Wisp has already finished using up his sentries, but they actually spotted out with their own Observer there.
Okay, so in comes Misery. At this point, though, they don't have any sentry wards, unless they want to ferry some more out to deal with it, but probably just content with the knowledge of exactly where it is. In the mid lane, SF continuing to crush the puck. 19 last hits, 12 denies to the 4 last hits and single deny for S4. Bottom lane, they're going to go in looking for a first blood. Avalanche to start things off. There's going to be a toss from Envy. Where's he going to throw this one? But Zai's looking to fight the toss directly up, and Zai wants the call on Big Day Notail, but he's kiting this perfectly, but he gets the spin. Needs another great nightmare timing from Misery. And Envy has a toss. He's going to get the first blood. Great start to this game for Cloud9. Really well kited there, and just good execution.
Yeah, it was very good, like, patience from Misery, holding on to the Nightmare as long as possible until he absolutely needed to use it when Big Daddy was in trouble. That was a very good play by Misery, and of course Notail as well, when kiting the Axe, getting his Wisp balls to do all the damage there.
Well, for that, I mean, Cloud9, first spot in the bottom lane with Envy farming well, Fata crushing the mid lane. Secret for now are committing to this trial lane at top, but they need to support mid lane. S4's been ganked up. He's got no orb out. The jaunt won't be available. And S4 may just get right click down. The shockwave going to miss though. And Bone 7, nice rotation in. Hits Zai with the skewer. They're going to need to hit some more razors here. Fata gets one more. One right click, not enough. The Magic Stick healing back up. Kuro's teeping in. Wants Big Daddy Notail. And Wisp completely isolated. Going to run into the puck, who he can't bring down on his own, and Fata looks to turn around, has some more razors, throws 1-2 onto Puppy. Great placement coming out from Fata. Needs the right click. Puppy looking for the neutral deny, will not get it, and now Zai in all sorts of trouble. Fata's got himself he's got the Z-Rays. Going to bring down Zai with one more right click. Another kill to your Shadow Fiend. Double kill for Fata. He is off to the dream start here. A bloody mess in the middle lane, and it's Cloud9 who come out on top.
Yeah, it was a great play by Misery again, setting up. It was unfortunate they didn't get the kill on the puck. I really thought they probably should have gotten a kill. It was just a missed shockwave from Bone 7 there. But in the end, they still got off the better trade with Misery yet again with a couple of very good nightmares to set up the fight for his team.
Yeah, and Envy meanwhile was farming, as was Arteezy on the safe lane Lycan though, so both carries using the space they were getting, but all supports rotating in, and another kill onto the Axe is going to really hurt Zai's item progression into that Blink Decker.
Just look at the CS of everyone. Axe, even though with a very good start, still hasn't been able to get too many last hits, but he has the same amount of last hits with the Punk, which is something what Misery accomplished by being in the lane for the first 2 minutes, helping the SF just last hit the 2 waves of creeps and resulting into this big disparity in CS.
Yep. Well, Cloud9 now have a lot of good control here. They're securing runes here with the SF able just to push out the lane, Envy getting the bottom rune even. So both runes being claimed by the Cloud9 team, and right now it looks like Secret are going to rotate their Lycan into the jungle. That's going to give the safe lane to the Silencer to get some XP, get some farm, and try and get that level 6 global silence online as early as possible.
And so far, the Wisp is still getting its levels, wants to get to level 6 as soon as possible. There has been no stacks for the Shadowfiend. Very rarely we see that happen, because this early game has been so much movement from the supports of Cloud9. And Big Daddy probably going to start stacking right now for the Shadowfiend.
It feels like they've got enough out of the early support rotations that they can now sit back and look to play that economy game. They can look to out-farm Secret, get the stacks going, because that's something Secret have done a really good job of, is having stacks in the jungle for the Lycan.
C9 has Shadowfiend and Tiny and Power. At some point of the game, when the Magnus starts to regain his levels, it's going to be the point where C9 is just going to out-farm Secret, I imagine, with the Empower and the Shadowfiend and Tiny, both heroes with very good creep clear spells. And Axe at the moment still in the middle lane, not anywhere close to Blink, going to get his level 6 soon. That would be the big difference between him and the offlane Magnus of Cloud9.
Do you feel like it matters too much for Magnus this game? Because it does feel like he can just put the Empower on Tiny, and that's his main job.
Yeah, he just needs to put Empower this game. I don't think he needs to be that farm compared to the Axe. The Axe needs to have his Blink Dagger a lot faster than the Magnus in this game.
Well, C9 even pressuring towers now with a double damage rune on Fata. They get in some good hits on this mid-tier 1 tower. Wisp even coming in with the tether heal as well as the overcharge onto Fata, who's just going to tank up the tower, keep the siege creep alive, and Secret, unless you start rotating in heroes, this is going to be an early tier 1 tower, and a mid-tier 1 tower at that. Deny comes in, S4, going to deny some much-wanted gold from Fata in the mid lane.
This is Fata's first competitive match on Shadowfiend in it's almost a year.
I mean, do you get rusty on this here? Is this something where it was their last pick? It may have not been Cloud9's plan from the start, but so far he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, so far everything going very well for Fata. A lot of CS under his belt, top of the network thanks to Misery, and going to clear some stacks to increase his lead. He's
got a big lead here, but Arteezy looking to help out his team has snuck his way into the Roshan pit with a medallion treads, level 7 wolves, and
this is very good timing to go, because at this point, if you are on C9, you would expect the Lycan to just move into the jungle and leave the supports to actually farm the lane. You would not expect a rush that early by Arteezy.
It's normally like around 10 to 11 minutes, perhaps. You would expect this.
He has the medallion, that's why he could have actually do this so early.
Well, bottom lane, while the Roshan's going on, they're going to be a Cloud9 initiation onto Zai's Axe, but not enough damage to bring him down. Puppey just TPing in, kind of more scaring off Cloud9 more than anything. And the Wave of Terror into the Roshan pit, that's going to secure the Aegis for your Lycan. Also gets Arteezy up to level 8.5 now, so gives him a bit of boost to his XP, but more importantly, his farm now catching up to the Tiny as well as Shadowfiend, who were kind of outlast hitting him and just getting a lot more kills out of the map. Top lane relocate in, they're going to bring down the Silencer, and that's Kuro, who've been kind of taking over the farm in that top lane. So at this point, trying to transition him into at least a semi-carry. That
was a key kill. He was very close to getting his Midas recipe.
Yeah.
It was a very key kill. It would probably slow him down by 1 or 2 minutes. It might not sound much, but in the long run, it will change the game, definitely. It's something that helps the team after the secret team gets that early Roshan.
We haven't seen much Silencer this term. What do you make of this Silencer for Secret and how they're kind of playing it as a kind of more core hero rather than a hard support?
I think, like what the panel discussed earlier, it was mainly to break the combination of spells that C9 have. The relocate and the RP, and also the channeling ultimate from the Bane, and here comes Veta with the haste rune, gonna steal the stacks and even take away the Aegis.
Yeah, Arteezy gonna go down once. Do they go for him twice? Oh, this is possibly really bad for Arteezy. He mistimes it though. Oh no. The global silence was there, though, so Fata, I guess in theory, may have not got the kill anyways, although he did use it way too early. With the haste, he wants to chase down Arteezy even further. The second ray is going to miss as Arteezy jukes into the trees, and now possibly a turnaround from Secret. They've lost S4 to start things off, though. Envy with a blink dagger goes blinking in, misses the avalanche, though. Now he's in too deep. 4 heroes around him, 2 hero battle call from Zai. He wants in, but the skewer into an RP, but no, there's no RP. Bone Sever's not even level 6. Arteezy going to now pop the ultimate. The toss is going to finish him off, though. Envy brings down the young prodigy, and Cloud9 going to lose their Magnus in the meantime. Fata looking to throw more razors, hits a few, but not enough damage to bring down the Venge or the X. Both just one raise away from dying. S4 comes back after dying, gets the orb into a waning rift, and Secret winning this battle so far, but Avalanche hits 2, followed up by 1 red click. Has a toss in a couple of seconds here. Kuro now in all sorts of trouble. The Shadow Fiend gets thrown forward. There's no mana for a raise, but doesn't matter. C9 get another kill. Arteezy, meanwhile, getting the kill on the Wisp there with the Wolves. What just happened? That is some serious aggression coming out of C9. This Blink Dagger on Tiny came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Blink Dagger Tiny. That was the key item and key factor of that fight. It allows the Tiny to do what he did in that fight. Very rarely we see the Tiny players actually get the Blink even without... He basically don't even have any transition items like a drum or anything, just a thread and into the Blink. Something that you don't see very often, but it proved to be the right decision in that fight. It changed. It definitely helped them win the fight. Even though they missed the Shadow Fiend Requiem initially on the edges of the Lycan, but I still think the Blink Dagger from Tiny played a huge part there.
It wasn't a perfectly executed fight. I mean, the Requiem was mistimed. The first Blink Avalanche actually completely missed. It was the second and the third one, which were good from Envy, but C9 just with a big item advantage. And, well, another Avalanche toss. Going to hit 2. Immediate kill on the Vengeful Spirit. And S4 going to orb. Is he going to go for the jaunt? Does go past. But the raise from Fata. Perfectly placed and timed. Catches out S4, who's having a miserable game on this puck. Can't really blame him. The laning stage was just so impossible against the Enfeeble. And, well, the damage has been done. Cloud9. You shut down S4 and the game suddenly gets a whole lot easier.
He's their main tempo controller. I mean, the Axe is also a tempo controller, but both of them nowhere near their blinks right now, and they're going to get another pick off on the silencer here.
This Blink Dagger is...
This blink on the Tiny is just proved to be the best decision they made. Oh, swap on Big Daddy Notail, gonna go down again, but it's a good price to pay for the silencer.
Yeah, it feels like at this point that's not exactly a huge kill for Secret to be getting. They had to use a shapeshift and everything for it, which is a pretty long cooldown at level 1. So Arteezy will make his way bottom lane, but another 2 minutes roughly before he has another ultimate. So this just opens up even more for C9. They can start pressuring some more towers if they want, go bottom lane or top lane, take a tier 1. And sure, Envy went for this Blink Dagger, but I feel like it's not going to hurt his overall farm. If they can get some stacks going...
It already paid for itself, like for sure.
And you've got Empower to fall back on. You're going to get an Ag Scepter. Sure, it's going to be like an Ag Scepter maybe 5-10 minutes later than you'd normally get it, but he's managed to keep Secret down.
Oh, he's going to find Arteezy here as well.
Oh, and Arteezy may start taking some damage here. If he takes these Ancients, that could be really bad for him.
Where is the Wisp? Is he going to bring someone over?
Well, he's got no one with him for the time being.
He can TP towards the top lane and just bring someone over with the relocate for this kill.
It seems Envy's just waiting for Arteezy to get a bit lower on HP. He's going to go in, hits the toss. The Avalanche to follow with the relocate, and Arteezy, no ultimate, brought down. Sama, no mercy today, as he picks himself up a wicked 6 streak. And while his team, they're taking a top tier 1 tower. 5,000 net worth.
He's going to find Zai here as well.
Oh,
that was close. That was close.
C9 now looking to invade the enemy jungle here. They have got smoked up bottom lane, though. It's S4 brought down by the Wisp Tiny in the jungle. There's going to be a Fiend Script coming out onto Puppey. The global silence used, but Puppey and Kuro looking like they're in trouble. Misery still taking it up. Gets swapped kind of to safety here. The TP out going to get cancelled by a skewer. Bone 7 says, hello, you're boned today. And Kuro going to go down as well. 4 Secret heroes on the sidelines. 15 kills to 5. Secret just falling apart here in game 1.
It was just really good play from C9 in general. Overall, the game which started with the Misery support going middle to pressure the puck, and the Blink Dagger from the Tiny, the rotations from the supports. It was just very good game sense and gameplay from C9 in general. They understood that they needed to focus on shutting down the puck, and the Axe. Both of them, how close are they to the Blink? Oh, Axe just got his Blink. Puck is nowhere near.
I mean, what do you do if you're secret? You've got this Axe Blink.
Even if they gank with the Axe right now, they need to gank the relocate. I mean, the Wisp and Tiny's lane. Otherwise, there will always be a relocate to bail their team out.
The Axe is just not inherently tanky. If he finds someone else and there's a Wisp Tiny relocating in, he maybe kills a Magnet of someone, but he's going to pay for it with his life. Possibly a second hero will pay for it with
Fata
their
even
life.
has like 3.4k gold right now. There's so many selections that he can go for that is really good. Like BKB, Manta for the global silence. Anything that gives him stats and survivability would be a very good item to add to his arsenal right now.
So just tank it up and make it so that you're not going to die into that blink hole.
There's two sources of damage from their team, the Tiny and the Shadowfin, and at this point of the game, they just need to survive the global silence and they're gonna wreck the whole secret team.
Well, even with the Snuck Aegis, TZ and Team Secret unable to get too much done in this game.
This is the main weakness of not having the Chen. Your lanes are compromised when you don't have it, and you run a draft like a Puck and he gets a matchup like Shadowfin. Puck doesn't do well against Shadowfin naturally, and you add on the Misery Bane helping the Shadowfin early on. This is the game that resulted in
relocate. Arteezy's been found. He's going to shapeshift, but it may not be able to get off. The Avalanche toss is there, and Arteezy gets slam dunked, and Puppy in trouble as well. Here comes S4, but the Dream Coil may save Puppy. Not going to get caught out just yet. It's S4 instead going to go down to the toss. No phase shift available, and he wants Puppy as well. The chase is on. Global Silence comes out, but that's not going to save the eventual triple kill for Eternal Envy. He wants more. They're going to go chasing, it looks like. Blink Dagger available soon. Not good. Oh, Envy. Blink Dagger in 1 second. The Avalanche could reach if he can get a bit close enough. And it gets dodged by Kuro. The Blink Call is there as well. Envy going to get pulled into the Tier 3 tower. No buybacks available. Otherwise, maybe something you would have considered using to try and ruin Envy's streak. He's on a beyond godlike streak, but he keeps himself alive.
Yeah, he has to be really careful if he's going for all these dives. If the Wisp is not around, he's going to give up a lot of gold when he dies. But at this point, Envy is playing absolutely amazing with his itemization and decision making. Very well done by the captain of the team.
Oh, and with all these kills, all these towers, Bone 7 has enough money for his Blink Dagger. Envy's got enough money for an Ag Scepter. He went for Treads, Drums, Blink Dagger, and
here we go. The Ancient stacks with 1 point and power. Ag Scepter already done for the Tiny, so he just needs to collect it, and yeah, they can do it. And this is a huge source of income for the Tiny.
Yeah, he's going to get the Ag Scepter, and this will be like another 1,500, 2,000 gold. He can practically pick up a Hyperstone off of this.
That was really good play by Bone 7 as well, removing the trees there along the Ancient, so it's easier to get the stack off going for them. And he's going to get a huge source of income here. Ag Scepter coming in, and Bone 7's just going to pop by, drop the Empower, get the farm done for him.
Secret just trying to get back some map control. De-ward as much as they can in their own jungle and take out some of this Radiant Vision.
I don't know how can they fight at this point of the game. They're so far behind. Even going for pickoffs is not an option because of relocate.
This is going to be one of the poorest S4s we've ever seen. It just feels like Secret's biggest problem is they don't really have a tempo controller. S4 getting shut down in lane and not having a jungler. They've got a Vengeful Spirit plus Silencer, a support joy they don't often run. With neither of these two heroes able to control the game, S4 getting shut down, there's no real way to fight in the mid game.
Yeah, even in the late game, you could argue Secret cannot fight against C9's lineup.
Yeah. Wisp Tiny with a Magnus. No, I mean, this is without even mentioning. I mean, you got Shadowfeed. All of these heroes.
He went for a Skadi. I mean, he could. At this point, he literally could go anything he wants.
Anything, Winter?
Yeah, not Dagon.
I can come up with some creative Shadowfiend builds if you want to try me.
Anything along the lines of along the lines of a competitive game.
All right. Well, C9 now with that Ancient Stack claim. That gets Envy up to 13,000 net worth. Fata on 12,000.
Relocate.
Well, it's too late. The relocate still goes up, but he doesn't get the tether. And now, it looks like C9 they push back here. Zai blinks in with a call. They want to bring down the Big Daddy Notail Wisp here, but Zai is just too squishy. He's going to be brought down if he's not careful. The toss is not there. One more right click. Fata gets the kill. Envy, meanwhile, gets himself his 11th kill. The Fiend's Grip going to get dealt with by the Summoned Wolves here. It's a 3-for-1 so far, and Fata kept alive by a fantastic RP. Secret going to lose their whole team at this rate. Arteezy looking to escape. Wisp has come back into the fight here. Fata just going to throw a casual Requiem of Souls as S4 is brought back into the trees. He's looking for the TP out. Is there anything to cancel this? Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, Arteezy Lycan gets found. Envy with another kill. He's up to 4,000 gold. He bought his Ag Scepter 2 minutes ago.
this is more or less already over for Secret. They are too far behind, and they just totally got outplayed by C9 at this point of the game, and their supports are just way too behind. Venge and Silencer, you need to be ahead. When you're behind, you don't really offer much for your team apart from the long cooldown as a Silencer. They're gonna get a pick off on Big Daddy here.
Go to tether in 1 second. Who can he tether to? There's a mid creep wave, but it's out of range, it seems. Zai gets like the chop.
That's like just a minor consolation prize they get after losing so much and a buyback from the puck. Man, is he even going to get his blink at some point?
Who would have thought we would ever see a game where S4 at 21 minutes in on a puck doesn't have blink dagger?
Who would have thought, indeed. A lot of surprises in this tournament.
And we saw the Bane pick earlier by Na'Vi in the tournament, and it looked like just a train wreck. The pick didn't work out at all. It got hard counted. This time around, though, we see a Bane pick with a much clearer plan as far as dominating the laning stage, shutting down S4. And Misery since then hasn't... He got 1 or 2 kills on the Axe, but since then he hasn't done too much.
There we go.
Lycan Wolves are there. They're going to immediately scout the smoke here. Secret, this is maybe the play. They're not going to go in. The Lycan Wolves have been seen by the Sentry Wards, and Fata going to look to bring them down. Envy blinks in. Avalanche catches out too. There's a relocate as well. Wisp could be the first target, though. He kind of relocates into 3 heroes here. Arteezy just going to get right-click down. S4 goes in with a Raining Rift, the global silence time with it, and Kuro on the high ground manages to help bring down the Wisp here, but the shockwave from Magnus shreds him apart, and Tiny now gets another for his trophy collection, and well, this Tiny's just out of control. S4 gets gripped, and I wouldn't be surprised just to see a GG call at this point. No racks have been claimed, but this game 1 is just out of control.
Yeah, I don't think they can even come back anymore. It's more or less they're just probably talking about what went wrong in the game, and they just want to focus on the next game. Like sometimes it's even better to maybe conserve energy, but it's a big event, so I wouldn't be surprised if Secret just stays on, tries to fight one more time. Hopefully, if they actually get a win, like maybe C9 overextends, gives up a couple of kills, then you are back into the game.
What you mentioned, like they're thinking about discussing what went wrong. What do you feel like did go wrong? Was it a purely drafting? Was it just execution? What could Secret have done with this draft, or was it just a lost cause?
I think the one thing they could have done was maybe send one of the supports to help the puck during the first few waves, like the first 2 minutes when the Bane was actually being a pest towards the puck. I'm not sure if that would actually solve the issue, because I think the Bane could have still dropped an Enfeeble and the puck couldn't last it, and doesn't matter if the Venge or the Silencer came over to help, the puck would still be in the same hole that he is and he was in the game. So the other thing would probably be a smoke gang to try and get the Shadowfiend. I'm really not too sure, but those 2 options doesn't seem like it's going to be a guaranteed way that Secret could have solved their problems. It's just like an option there. Yeah.
The Bane pick, I feel like out of this entire C9 draft, that Bane pick was the X factor. That's something which Secret, in their pre-game discussion amongst the team about what they're going to pick, what picks they have to be worried about, like they were willing to give C9 the Wisp. They were at no point, I imagine, discussing the threat of a Bane pick. Yeah, that is just not something that would have even come up.
This is also one of the few games that they have the puck on the middle lane instead of the safe lane, and this type of scenario happened to them. It wouldn't have happened if the puck is a safe lane and the Lycan or Shadowfiend. They usually run Arteezy mid, Lycan or Shadowfiend.
Do you feel like they put the Lycan in the safe lane just because of the last pick Shadowfiend as well?
Yeah, they couldn't lane the Lycan against the Shadowfiend, so this was the biggest problem. Another relocate comes in at top.
Zai, he just blinked back, and the Avalanche toss is going to be, should be enough to finish him off. The toss forward, and Zai brought down with ease.
This is getting really ugly.
Oh, they want to try and catch out this Wisp. It looks like they know where he's coming. Envy's going to come back in with him. Envy cannot afford to die himself. Global Silence is going to be used. They kill the Wisp to start things off. Envy just cleaving off of the Ancients. Almost kills off the puck. One more cleave. He does it through the Ancients. What a play. He's got Aegis as well. He's not even worried about dying here. The Wolf is cancelling his Blink Dagger, unfortunately. But he doesn't care. It's Fata with a beyond godlike streak as well.
You have 2 heroes. I think that's the first time in a lot of tournaments.
10-0 Shadowfiend.
You have 2 heroes beyond godlike on the same team.
Against one of the best teams in the tournament as well. This is not like you're versing some throwaway team.
Yeah, it's. I just feel like the laning phase were just too weak for Secret. Like, they couldn't put the Lycan mid. They had to put the Puck mid against the Shadowfiend. And Puck against Shadowfiend, even without the Bane helping, it's already a very tough matchup for him. And Bane just disrupted so much that it was just impossible for the Puck to last it. And Puck like I said, and it's gonna end the game without even have a blink. Oh my god, this is super ugly.
MB finds one more. Puppy throws in the towel. GG is called. And this
game was just...
is the most one-sided defeat we've seen for... We haven't seen them lose very often, but this is a loss with a big message. This is Cloud9 saying, this is a series. You guys are going to have to show up and do something different to beat us.
The adjustment that C9 made was very good this game with the last pick Shadowfiend. Changed up a lot of their strategies, their laning phase as well. Like the statsman mentioned,